Based on some of the comments on my video reflecting on some things I felt like a Dragon Infinite Wealth was missing, I think a lot of us agree. It's time for Kiryu to leave.
Seems I've got half a year left, at most.
We're ready. Before we get started, please leave a like on the video. If not for my sake, do it because listening to me talk keeps the intrusive thoughts at bay. It works for me, it can work for you too. Guaranteed. I specifically say it's time for Kiryu to leave because even though it would probably make a good thumbnail and I could make the title The Death of Kazuma Kiryu or something like that, it's probably better to save that for the Yakuza 6 video. The Yakuza series, despite its sometimes over-the-top and often questionable scenes,
Nani?
has always been grounded in a sense of realism. This is evident to anyone who, under duress, would admit to the probability of at least 25% of their playtime and at least one of their first Yakuza playthroughs was spent running in the wrong direction and then consulting the map, wondering how you keep ending up on fucking Pink Street when I'm trying to get to Theater Alley. Why are there no street names on this map? Anyway, realism. They obviously want you to feel like you're actually stomping around Kabukicho when you're knocking over golfers in Kamurocho. That being said, I'm 25 and I'm nowhere near in as good of shape as Kiryu-san, but I'm pretty sure even a 55-year-old man who's been shot, recently I might add, between 6 and Gaiden, it's only been 3 years, is going to have a significant amount of trouble taking on heavy fucking machinery barehanded at his age. With that being said, it feels as though some of you probably have the same problem with Infinite Wealth that I have with my government. Everyone is too old. That's a bit dramatic. Not everyone, Kiryu. Ichiban is only 42 in Y8, and before that he spent 18 years in the joint. He obviously didn't have a great time in prison, but he's only gotten shot the one time. Barely even hurt. So where do we go from here? How do you send off one of the most iconic video game protagonists of all time? I'm sure it's a little daunting for RGG, but I have a feeling that they might not be the ones keeping Kiryu on life support. Well, I have a proposal on how we can leave Kiryu behind without pissing everyone off, or killing him, because I don't want him to die either. And don't badger me on the details, because if I'm going to give those out, Sega's got to pay me. But we know he has cancer. As part of the marketing for this proposed game, we learn that Kiryu has fallen into a coma due to complications with his treatment. Hear me out. Like a Dragon, Dead Souls. It all takes place in his coma dream, and we already know this is in line with what's already canon, as he describes his memory of this like a dream. So it's just that, a dream. In this dream, Kiryu can struggle with what remains of his inner demons, and it could be a real vivisection into what really drives the Dragon of Dojima. We know he still has issues that he hasn't resolved. This is told to us in Like a Dragon Gaiden, or at least heavily implied. But all the characterization that is either implicated or explicitly stated by Kiryu or those around him is now brought under a microscope by Kiryu himself, as he's forced to reckon with his relationships, his choices, the consequences, and what he really wants. This doesn't have to be self-aware on the part of Kiryu. He doesn't need to know that he's dreaming. It can just strictly be the plot of Dead Souls, whatever that is currently. Okay, so quick side note. Like I said before, I haven't played Dead Souls, and when I was doing the writing and recording for this, I hadn't finished all the research. I'm not really talking about Dead Souls proper, but I realize now that it's not one straight story. It's split into parts featuring Majima, Akiyama, Ryuji, Goda, and finally Kiryu. I don't really think that has too much of a bearing on my main idea because, again, this is Like a Dragon, Dead Souls, not Yakuza of the End, or whatever the original title was. Sorry, this is a correction, but also I don't think it really matters all that much to my main point. Kiryu game. I haven't played Dead Souls, but RGG is obviously playing on the name Demon Souls, and I think this can be taken even further, comparing it to the latest From Software entry, Elden Ring. I haven't played it myself, but from what I hear, you collect maidens. This could be paralleled by using each of Kiryu's 8 adoptive children as I'm not liking this analogy. My point is, the framing is all there, right? Kiryu has to rescue all of the coma versions of his kids, culminating in the big bad fight starring
Likia! Anike!
in homage to the Yakuza 3 fight everyone hates, or something like that, culminating in him rescuing Haruka, thus bringing him out of the coma, and they wrap it up from there. I imagine in the endgame you could return to the actual game by going to sleep, where your day-night cycle that you usually get at endgame when you go rest is now normal Kamurocho during the day with no enemies, so you can freely play all of the mini games and all of the, surface world features as Kiryu, and then when you go to sleep you are in the nightmare Dead Souls world. And this could have some weird textual implications that I'm perfectly willing to ignore for the sake of the game. Like I said, I haven't played Dead Souls, and it is a PS3 game, and the English version for it seems to be average price of $100. Not that I could play it on the PS5 anyway, so I probably won't be playing it anytime soon, unless you subscribe and get YouTube to pay for it. That being said, this seems like a good way to end Kiryu's story as a Yakuza Like a Dragon protagonist, because Kiryu isn't like a dragon, he is the dragon. Anyway, if you made it this far, you liked the video enough, so give it a like and let me know what you think. Is this the surprise RGG's been hinting at? If they've already revealed the surprise by the time this video goes up, then I guess not, but let me know what it was. Was it better? Anyway, I'm done. Bye.